What's up, Survivor Nation, and welcome to the Dome Patrol United Survivor Cast. I am your host, Jeff, and breathing heavily into the mic. And if you're watching on the live stream, is the guy in the window next to me, and that is Scott. Welcome to the show. Why are you breathing
I
so
was
heavy?
that was me breathing. I
Ah,
didn't even realize I was breathing that heavy into it.
it might
It
have
was
been.
just such an exciting tribal council that I'm just so
Yeah, I'll bet.
you know breathing heavy.
All right, Jason, welcome to the show. Speaking of breathing heavy.
Hey, I'm not breathing heavy as you two motherfuckers, although I'm living right near the epicenter of Corona in Louisiana. So
That's right. And yet you still go to work, don't you? Or did you get sick?
not after today. After today, I'll be home for at least a week.
Okay.
But it is kind of a little bit of a shit show in terms of what they're telling us and what they're not telling us. So today, I just like F it. I'm taking it upon myself. I have enough work to keep me busy for the next week, so I'm staying here.
All right. Then I take it everybody watched Survivor week 6,
Well, there's nothing else
Yes,
to
sir.
watch.
and we
True.
already talked about the NFL draft yesterday. So, I'm gonna break tradition and not talk
Oh.
about Extinction Island. I think we need to talk about the headline, and that is the Tribal Council, the second Tribal Council, where Denise just. I,
Power move.
talk about when she said there's what did she say, that there's never been an opportunity in my survivor career that I've been able to do something that was considered a game changer. I thought she was talking about just making the deal. That was the
Yeah, me
nut.
too. So I have a question. The second one she used on Jeremy, was that the last tribal council she could use that on? Because I know uh what's the girl she voted on? Sharon?
Sandra. I mean,
Sandra. Sandra said I only can use it one more time, or I only have one more tribal council that I can use this. Was that the same
For Denise,
for Denise?
that's the
I was just
only
wondering why she used
thing
them both.
that I have a feeling. I thought the same thing, that that was the case, that maybe she had to play it too. So why not play it for Jeremy? Or,
Yeah, I
to
mean
be
if you're doing
honest,
that.
why not ensure everything, get Sandra out, and you just completely took control of that sub tribe.
Uh, I don't know about take control, but she definitely got Jeremy on her side now.
James
Yeah,
is
for
watching on
sure.
Facebook. He says, "Good evening, donkeys. I have no clue who or what you're talking about."
Okay. So right, it was confusing because if she, she could have just used Sandra's. If Sandra's had to be used, she could have just used Sandra's and saved her own. So I'm not sure why she had to play it other than.
Unless she thought she was being played and Jeremy would have been voted out, which then just means she's the next to go. But
Or
then
also
no,
if she
because she
knew.
then had so she had to have played the idol.
We don't know.
I don't
She could have
remember.
held her own and had to play Sanders, but I guess if she thought that Jeremy was going to get voted out and she needed him to stay in the game, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, or in case somebody switched and voted for Jeremy, like as a burn vote or whatever. I don't know.
What's Adam saying?
But
A podcast with no volume.
um, tell him to turn your volume up.
Yeah, you check your mute button.
um, but I mean, it was a huge move, and I think Denise had said, in her season, she was on the bottom for a lot of the time and just survived her way her way through.
That's what's called.
Um, and in a season like this, you've got to at least make some kind of move. I mean, everybody's just too good, and it is wild that Sandra kind of underestimated Denise. She didn't think she had it in her, and in a regular season, you could say I could see that, but it's like even underestimating, like it's still a good player because of who's in this season. I mean, you can't
Oh,
underestimate
this is
anyone.
that move may have been the most amazing, just well, not backstabbing, but just in a way backstabbing, but just one of the most amazing moves in Survivor history. That was in like, I mean, I was screaming like the Saints just scored an 80-yard touchdown or something. I was like, holy shit. And Sandra, I mean, just dumbfounded. I mean,
Yeah, it
who
was.
saw that coming? Like that was so she got a token out of it. That's genius. So you give me a token before and then give me one after so I know it's real. Sandra's totally duped. So she got one of Sandra's tokens.
it was crazy. It was crazy to see Sandra played like that. That's something you never see. Yeah,
I
she
mean,
let her guard
Sandra
down.
Yeah.
got play, I thought Sandra was making a genius move herself. If this worked the way Sandra wanted it, then both of them were sitting in a good spot too. So I don't think, but it's just Denise just taking the head off the queen. I mean, she just destroyed Sandra the best way you could ever get rid of the greatest of all, the
Yeah.
only person to
It's
have won twice.
it's so hard to believe, like, as good of a player as Sandra is, to sacrifice the idol when, look, an idol guarantees you next week regardless. You have to play it. Just play it and survive into next week. That's all you got to do with a season like this. Just make it to next week and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
To see her not do that was crazy. But I will say it also brought in
So
these
Sandra
fire tokens.
overplayed maybe.
Maybe, but it does also now bring in these fire tokens that we're like, what do they do? What's going to happen now?
Did
They're
I miss
involved with the
something?
strategy of the game.
So did I miss something? Because for the first 5 weeks, no one's even talking about tokens. They're not using them to negotiate, and then all of a sudden this week, everywhere the tokens are being discussed and used. I mean, even on the edge of extinction.
I think some of that is that now you have more tokens, like people have more tokens, because initially everybody just had their one. Now that you had people who go to Extinction Island and had to give their tokens to somebody else, there's more tokens in the regular game now, so you have more to play with. You don't mind sacrificing one if you still have another one.
Right. So let's go to Edge of Extinction. Tyson wins a token, and he uses it on the menu. I, for some, that looked new to me, but maybe I forgot or missed it in episode 1 because your girl Natalie, she's holding on to hers. Is she just not spending hers on the menu?
Yeah. I mean, because I think that menu was there the first.
I vaguely
The first-
remember something like that you can use them to buy stuff.
See, I don't
Yeah.
even remember seeing it, but
I kind of remember. So Tyson buys a jar of peanut butter. I forget what was the 3 tokens could buy you an immunity idol, right?
Yeah, but you can't
For
use
what?
it on Extinction Island. So
right, you have to give it to somebody in the game.
yeah, you'd have to trade it for
It
fire
does you no good
tokens.
on the
Yeah.
island.
But if you know, all right. So let's say I'm Sandra. Or I'm Natalie. I know somebody's got 3 tokens. I buy an idol for 3 tokens. I sell it for 3 tokens, and all I did was just transfer. I mean,
Power to somebody that you like. If she's
Right.
still, because she was playing with Jeremy at the beginning of the game.
right.
Because I mean, what he actually did was he didn't find a fire token. He found an idol that he sold to Parv, right?
Yeah, that's how he got his token.
To get the fire token.
hmm
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Or no, it was a steal a vote, right?
It was a
whatever it
steal
was, yeah.
steal an immunity or whatever.
Steal a
Like
vote. It was steal a vote. It was steal a
steal
vote.
a vote.
He sold
Or-
it. You're right. He
Or,
sold
or
it.
was it an idol nullifier? It might have been an idol
Ooh,
nullifier. I think it was an
yeah.
idol nullifier.
It might have been that. That's what it was. That's what it
Okay,
was.
either way, he sold an advantage to Parvati for a token, got a token, then used that to buy his peanut butter.
Got it.
Right.
And yeah, and they even showed it like boom, 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 boom. I wonder if they have radios production. They're like, all right, we got this offer. Okay, you got that offer. Yeah, you want it? You want it? It's like deal, little stock
Well, here
market trade.
and here's the thing too about the people on Extinction Island. As more people go to the island, they're hearing about how's the game. They're learning more about how the game is progressing, so they can have an idea of maybe who's in power, who's in trouble. So if they want to offer to sell it to somebody who may be in trouble, they can earn more fire tokens.
But you notice that pretty much all the big heavy hitters are getting taken out like left and right now. I mean, Rob
Oh, look at
first
the
went, then Parv, and now I can't remember that.
You're
damn
all-
name.
it's all your own-
Sandra.
Right? Look, Tyson, Rob, Parvati, and Sandra were the last 4 eliminated,
go.
and they're all super strong players. And
Right.
even with all these players out, the season is not suffering. If anything, it's still getting better. That's one of the best parts about this entire season. You got all these dominant personalities, and it's still a super exciting game. Like I still cannot wait to see what happens next week. Like I can't wait to see what happens every week.
And are they gonna-
Because if in the past you've had these seasons where they bring back a few players and they take them out early, and then the game gets really boring. But because of the all-winter season,
Right.
it just keeps going. It's just gaining steam.
But all right, so because they're doing all that, and somebody brought up the point in the one of the tribal councils about this old school, new school, and I think it was Nick being able to adapt. Like you can't play that intimidation style. Oh, when they were talking about Rob, maybe you can't play that in the early diary session. You can't play that kind of game where the old school mentality, which is like this is who we are. You intimidate and you do whatever. In this new way of playing Survivor, you've got to be able to align and rally and pivot and move and just keep all your relationships positive enough to where you can bend in one direction or the other. And I think they're right. I mean, and the old school player, parenthesis S, close parenthesis, who figure out that can you do both? Can you create that alliance, keep them fearful or intimidated enough to stay loyal to you while also keeping positive relationships with your enemies, so to speak. And I think Nick. I thought Nick was going to turn based
I
on
did too.
everything that we had seen. I really am surprised he didn't. And I thought kind of Wendell, man, Wendell went from like guy you like to asshole.
I was worried for my boy Wendell at
Real
Travel.
fast.
I was
thought he
really
was
worried
gone.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, he's just keeping it real. He's just keeping it real.
You can keep things real without being a jerk.
when keeping it real goes wrong, right?
I'm keeping
I'm gonna
it
stab you in the front. I'm gonna
real.
stand you in the back. I'll stab you in the front. I don't care.
And
Dude, you just. I mean, like, what are you doing?
who sits there and actually like tells the whole story of how I was gonna betray my alliance? Like you, Nick, I was gonna do this. I mean,
But I don't know. He might have. I think he was still bluffing. I don't know that he really would have done it. I mean, it really would have hurt his position.
what you might not have seen on air was Yule, Nick, and him concocting to do that to Parvati and getting her to do, you know what I mean? Like take her tokens or something.
Right.
So they might have been like, yes, of course, this was the master plan all along.
Or were you surprised that Sandra left her tokens to Yule?
I didn't think she gave them to Yule. I thought she gave them to. Mm,
No, she gave him to Yule.
She gave them to
Which
Yule.
man, Yule and she had how many tokens? She had 3.
3.
She had multiple
Yeah.
tokens.
yeah,
Yule is in a really strong position right now.
she had 4. So okay, so Yule got those. Oh, Michelle got the ones from Parvati, which that kind of surprised me. But
I mean, they were together.
They were
yeah.
friends. Yeah. I mean, they were kind of
Yeah.
friends on the.
yeah,
So, with all these people, all these big people on Extinction Island, it's gonna be interesting to see how they interact. And then, is there, we still don't know how you get from Extinction Island to back into the
I'm
game.
starting to believe more and more now that it is going to be a challenge.
Sandra's fucked then.
Oh, yeah, Sandra's
Well,
not
yeah.
coming back.
There's no
yeah.
Sandra bench that she could sit on.
If it's a who can sit the longest? If it's a challenge, depending on the type of challenge, right? Yes, if it's an endurance challenge, I think Natalie's a strong contender. If
Yeah.
it's a physical challenge, I think Natalie and Tyson are and a little bit
And
of Austin
Rob.
Rob are contenders. If it's a puzzle, if it's a combination challenge, I actually think Rob is out because Rob thinks he's good at puzzles, but he's not. I
Do you
think Amber
that
doesn't
Rob
have a
and
chance in hell to get
do you
in.
think Rob and Amber might team up together to try to keep one of them, either by sabotaging the other players in the challenge
I
or
mean,
by helping?
Rob would
Their
be the
husband
kind of
or-
guy to think about it. Yes, Rob would be the kind of guy.
Thought you were gonna say, do you think Rob and Amber are gonna make a Survivor baby on the Extinction Island baby?
They've got
They
the
might.
I think they're fine. They're
Yeah.
Never know.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting to see them working together, which I mean, you knew they would, but it was pretty cool. Tyson, I like his. I'm acting like I'm peeing, but
Well, I'm taking a piss.
that's how you keep them away.
I guess so.
I don't know. So. Jason, you got your spy shack, or what do you call it this time? Spy bubble, spy.
Yeah, I mean,
bunker.
it's so to me, it was great to see him do that. It was like, oh, Spy Shack's back, but these players know well enough
Yeah, they're not stupid.
to avoid that. And if anything, it almost paints a target on his back. Like, hey man, where'd he go? He's gone for a while. Like
That's what I thought was happening. I thought
as
Denise
right.
was going after Tony.
As entertaining as it was to watch it on TV, I was like, Tony, come on, Tony.
Yeah, your boy made a mistake, and they all like he just completely disappears and
Disappears, right?
Right.
It was like, well, where does he go? This is like the biggest, decision we've had to make, and he's gone. And
Yeah,
Sandra, that antenna went up for Sandra. She's like,
I mean,
I'm
that
not.
might be the last we see of the Spy Shack, I think.
Well,
He
yeah.
should just move it. Like he shouldn't put it in the same spot he did it last time. I mean,
Hey,
duh.
they know it. But it was, and then when he comes out of the spy shack, I mean, dude, don't make it obvious. He looked like he was on meth or something. He was like tweaking and stuff. He's like, and then he ran
He's
off.
like, I just hurt my back climbing a tree looking for an idol. I'm so paranoid. Like, all right, dude.
Jeez.
His reaction at tribal council was pretty good. Like he was just in total shock.
Yeah.
He didn't know what the hell just happened.
Dude, I still can't believe it. I mean, it was so big that I completely forgot about the other tribal council, the one with Wendell and Parvati and Michelle and all that. I do find myself rooting for Nick each week more and more, even though Yule's my guy. Yule is my after Rob selection. But if Yule gets voted out, then Nick's gonna be my guy.
I'm kind of liking Yule's chances at this point.
Yeah.
Well, if we keep
You know,
getting tokens,
especially now. I mean, he's got Wendell to shield him now. I mean, now after what Wendell said this week, whew.
well, you know what's funny too is I like that like they've almost created their own currency value for the tokens, right? I mean, like nobody told them what the tokens are going to be for. Nobody did whatever, and so now they're trading tokens for power, and so the tokens had no value. It would be funny if you get to the end of the game and they're like, "Okay, what's with the tokens?" And Jeff's like, "The tokens don't really mean anything." You got
Well, no, they have a menu too. Am I mistaken in that? That they have a menu too?
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
almost
remember.
positive that they have a menu as well.
Ash on Facebook. We're all part of Survivor now. Outwit, outplay, out Corona.
True that.
Come like a bing, like a bing, a manona. Come, kinda, what's that song? My
My Corona.
Corona. Dun, 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 dun.
all right, so
It's just coughing. My Corona.
all right, so predictions for next week.
Well, I need to pick a new person
Merge.
apparently because Parv is gone. So I need to.
do.
You can't pick somebody that we've picked. So I've got Wendell. Jeff's got Yule. You
Yeah.
gotta pick
You
somebody.
could take Nick from me if you. That's my.
I'm going Denise.
Ooh,
Oh, I see you.
look at that.
All right.
Straight
From the
cut
bottom
the
to
throat.
the top.
Yep, I'm
All
going
right.
Denise. Might as well.
Well, the beauty
She
is
pulled a
nobody's going to be mad at her for what she did. They're going to actually love and be impressed by what she did.
Right, they're gonna be impressed. I'm telling you, she reminds me of Carol from Walking Dead. Like I think if the producers are controlling things, she's Carol.
I mean,
Carol was
yeah.
nice and shy and meek at first, getting abused by her husband. All of a sudden, she's this gangster, who like you don't fuck with.
And she just killed the whole
That's
horde.
Denise.
Yeah.
That's Denise.
All right. Well, with getting this much of the diary sessions with Denise, Denise is highly intelligent. I think like she's really smart. She's aware. She's self-aware, and she's able to read these people. And she won. I mean, you think about it. She won a season, so she's
Right.
not like the whole conversation that Sandra's saying she's not a threat. I'm surprised Sandra would say that. If not, I'm just gonna make it look like we're voting for you to play everybody. But come on, Sandra, you don't insult the person that you need to save you. And then, well, Sandra, there's different types of threats, and I'm about to show you one of them. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It's fantastic. I mean, everybody's a threat. Every
Yeah.
single person left is a threat.
I am ready for a merge, though. I'm done with all these separate tribes. I'm ready for the battle royale to begin.
So what do we? So
So how many players
they
do
all
we
have
have left?
They all have 4 now. Is that correct?
Yeah, because they all vote. Because the last week tribe A went, and now you had the other two go. So,
So there's 12.
So
So
it's
there's
12
12
left.
people
So-
left.
well,
So if
a
you're
merge could happen.
right, because
Mm.
I mean, I don't think we know how many people go to the finals, 2 or 3. We don't know. But if it's 3, then that leaves you with 9 jury members. Unless for some reason they're going to allow everybody to be on the jury.
No, they're not.
How do you know?
Because I follow
You don't
Survivor
know.
threads, and I know that that's not the case.
Because you drink and you know things.
I drink and I know things.
Tyrion.
Tyrion
all right.
Lannister.
Come on. I mean, I know Game of Thrones is over, but you haven't forgotten it all yet, have you?
I forgot a lot. I forget a lot. I can't even watch Westworld episode 1 without first watching a recap of last season because I don't remember shit from that.
Well, in fairness, that this is a crazy show. A lot of shit happens, and you know who's a robot, who's human. You know.
Yeah.
Who's
I
out?
like
Who's
them.
free? What's real anymore?
I like them being in the real world. It's pretty cool.
I can't wait. Yeah, gonna watch that. Okay, so that's our thing for Survivor. Anything else y'all got to say on that before I close it up?
Just I'm anticipating pretty much every season. I mean, every episode is going to be a good episode. Like, there's not going to be a bad episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a question, and I know you'll end it as soon as I ask this question.
Uh-oh.
So, what's the point of Tyson getting the peanut butter if there's no dogs on Extinction Island?
And that's all the show we have for you right now. We're gonna thank our loyal listeners for downloading each week and telling all of your friends about the Dome Patrol United Survivor podcast. You can follow us on Twitter for daily conversation at Dome Patrol US and Dome Patrol UK. You like us on Facebook to watch live broadcasts like you might be doing right now. Subscribe on YouTube to also watch live broadcasts or to listen as an alternative to your podcast app. And of course, if you don't listen to us the old-fashioned way, there is the Dome Patrol podcast.
Cam?
Yeah, I was debating whether I should say things like we're on iTunes and Google Play and TuneIn
Right.
and Stitcher.
Well, hey, it's better than my ending because
Spotify.
I don't have it written down, and I just kind of
I don't
stumble my way through it.
I don't either.
I guess you're used to saying it every week. I'm not.
No, I do have it written down. All right. What did we say with Dome Patrol podcast?
Cam?
Say bye-bye, donkeys.
Bye bye, Island Donkeys.
The tribe has spoken.